Hey, yes, I know you can see behind me the original Star Trek Gorn. That's going to stay up for the entire season of Strange New Worlds this year. Yeah, is it my protest? Slightly. But anyway, so late last night, or actually early morning, the latest episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds came out. Shuttle to Kenfori. You know, that was a very interesting episode, went multiple different directions, intriguing, interesting. My thoughts went multiple different directions in this. And I'm calling this review, this is a spoiler laden review. Honor, Command, and Zombies. Maybe you can throw love into that as well. Norv Silver Age. What can I say? A ride, definitely a great ride. Fun? No. Raises questions, issues, again, but at least this time, other than this thing ignoring the original Gorn stuff and doing the alien stuff, at least they continue going into their last two seasons and grabbing things out and continuing from the prior episodes. Kudos to that. Kudos to that. That's awesome. You know, from my review perspective, I'm changing the way I do things a little bit on the reviews now. I'm going to say, my scale, highest is Latinum, Platinum, Gold, Silver, Bronze, Tin, Lead, or nothing. So basically, I've gone back and forth on this episode between Gold and Platinum. No, it's not Latinum, but it probably is the best episode I've seen this year. So I'll give it a Platinum with maybe a tweak over there. It's definitely well worth watching and investing your time in. So basically, bottom line, what happens here is we know Captain Pike's love interest, Captain Batel, has been infected with Gorn eggs, and all of a sudden they're trying to control her body again, and her prognosis is very poor, but as amazingly, oh my God, we know we've got something that's going to work. It happens to be in this planet that happens, Kenfori, that happens to be in a restricted zone between the Klingons and the Federation. Of course it is. And it's a plant. A plant that they think is going to be able to stabilize and cure. At least that's what they told Pike. And of course, we find out that's not 100% the case. But, Pike's smart enough to know that this can't be in the books. And also, his crew is too. And so that's why we're going to take a shuttle. It's only going to be Spock and the Dr. Mbinga. And of course, Pike's not going to allow that because he also realizes if they get caught, it's going to be back on his shoulders anyway. So he said, no, Spock, you're not going, I'm going. So they go to there, and there's all these gyrations. They have to get there, kind of keeping the Enterprise from not going across the bounds. And they sort of find this space buoy that's sitting out there that's saying restricted and dangerous, kind of don't enter at your own risk. And of course, that sets up what happens in this episode with zombies in a little bit. So they land, and there's the interesting thing is Mbinga is doing a scan of tricorder, and so there's no life. There is no life anymore. And with no life being any place, kind of strange when you see all the plants still sitting there. It doesn't make a little sense what they're saying, no life. But anyway, they're going after this one flower. They go, and there was an old Star Trek research facility there before this war the fight happened with the Klingons, which I guess goes back to the Discovery era. And so anyway, they head over there and make their way, and they find a leg in a plant, and a body, I should say, not leg, a body. So then they make their way over to the old research facility, which still has, of course, it's got a little power still in it. And but all of a sudden, the Klingon vessel shows up, and the Enterprise is just sitting there, not doing anything. But there's been heavy discussions that have been occurring with the command structures in place with number one and the team, and Ortega's starting to show this edge, disrespect, lack of honor, so to speak, and lack of respect to command, chain of command, and being a little bit insubordinate, but everyone lets us go. And so, but anyway, so they go there. They agree to a plan that was not what Ortega wanted to do. So, but they agree to the plan. They're sitting out there, and when the Klingon ship appears, they decide, well, we better somehow find a way to get close just in case. Come up with a plan, and which Ortega does not really like, and later disobeys the command. And so command structure is a challenge here. And this has to do, I guess, with the Gorn, we'll call it PSD stuff still in their mind, and like the Klingon War and stuff like that. So anyway, we go back to this research facility. Everything's dark. There's plant growth all over the place. They find the flowers. They get the flowers, but when Pike's about to pull out his flower, he finds a leg in here and dismembered. And then the Klingons eventually show up, and there's a little battle royale. But the Klingon female commander says, something about, gotta be quick. There's things here we don't want to deal with. And we don't want to go upstairs. We don't go upstairs. And that leads to eventual encounter with zombies. It turns out to be a combination of Klingons, the Federation personnel, and of course, playing God and developing this thing that was supposed to help plants grow incredibly strong and all that. It gets unleashed in the lab and converts everybody into zombies, and the zombies have killed off all the living creatures and maybe more. So there's those encounters that happen, and it's like, why you think at this point the Klingons are there because their buoy detected someone coming there, but actually it's deeper than that and gets back into this honor stuff. It turns out the Klingon commander, her dad was assassinated by our doctor friend. This is when we knew the doctor had all this violent tendencies from before. He was a freedom fighter and had no problem killing people. We know this from prior episodes of Star Trek. And somehow or another, she put in his body this tracking mechanism, and that's what caused the Klingon vessel to show up. And her house, because her father did stupid things in command of the Klingons, et cetera, and the way things happened, their house was dishonored, lost their shield, etc. So she thinks in her mind, the only way I'm going to get my honor back is to kill the assassin, because I should have killed my dad because of the way he dishonored it on our house, not him, and that's why she's after him. So this leads into a battle, and both Pike and the Doctor have to run upstairs, and that's when they run across all the zombies and more so, and they've discovered they got problems. And one thing leads to another. Klingons come up, and a lot of Klingons get eaten. So kind of cool kind of things. There's the honor thing and command structure, loyalty. But it's like sends a message. Why are we doing this again? I guess we still like this. We all like the zombie kind of movie kind of things. And when Pike was saying the doctor, he goes, "Don't say that word." I don't know why Doctor didn't like zombies, but hey, whatever. So basically, bottom line, one thing leads to another. They all get trapped. They find a way to get out. Get up to the roof. Oh, by the way, the shuttle, their shuttle, they came over, Pike's shuttle, got blown up by this Klingon commander. So there was no way they could get off, and the only shuttle that was there was actually on the rooftop. The Klingon ones, they had to go up there and had to fight their way through the zombies, and they almost lost it multiple times, but they got behind some force field on the roof. And then it comes out this whole thing about the Klingon commander, the house, all that kind of thing. Back to the honor, loyalty thing. And she goes, the only way I get my house restored, my honor restored, is by killing you. And she basically stabs Pike in the leg so he can't interfere in this fight. The fight occurs, and of course, the obligatory fight happens. Something gets damaged, and the zombies almost come in. And they go through this fight, and the doctor actually beats the Klingon, and but refuses to kill her, and she feels even more dishonored. So now she's got to figure out a way to honor herself, to get her honor back, and to her, fighting and dying in battle is the only way to do it. So she sacrifices her life to all the zombies, and those guys get off, and they go, and they give it back. But meanwhile, on the Enterprise, Ortega is violating command structure orders about the speed that they're going to come in at, and she was told to go 1/6 impulse, and then to 1/8 impulse, and then she just cruised to 1/6, and the Klingon cruiser up there detected them and went on force fields, and so basically, you see number one was getting very pissed off, and after they eventually get near the planet, and thanks to Scotty's capabilities, they got Pike and the doctor off and got the planet and everything. And but also, by the way, it's found out that the only way to save Pike, Captain Battelle, is to convert her DNA to Gorn stuff, and he was really upset about the fact no one's told him that. And so that leads to a confrontation, and then a little bit later we get the after this is all done, number one calls on Ortega and basically suspends her, says you got to go through remedial training and chain of command. And you can see she's pissed off about this, and Ortega that is. And number one said, you can't have another incident like this, period. So it ends. I thought it was a really great episode. Almost Latinum level, but not quite. It's just, things weren't just as strongly connected as I wish they were. They were a little choppy. I guess if the episode was longer, God, I hate to say this, but 20 minutes longer, it could have been Latinum. Hey, Norb, Silver Age, I'd like to hear your thoughts, comments. Please subscribe. We're growing. Thank you. Have an awesome day.